Hello there. Okay, this is an important message. This is all about the Rob Reiner case, and I know that's still on everyone's mind. Happy New Year. And it's such a great Greek tragedy that happened, and it didn't have to happen, but there's so many issues about mental health that we need to step up. And I studied, along with being a spiritual person, I've studied psychology, and I really want to help people like get to where they need to be. Sorry. I also have ADHD, so I'm a fidgeter. Hold on. I am a fidget. I had to get my fidget ball so I don't touch my hair. There you go. There you go. Those who know. So anyway, and so I'm the perfect person to be doing this because as I have my psychology background and I have my spiritual psychic background and I have my ADHD autism background spectrum, neurodivergent stuff. So as someone said, if you know, you know. But which I loved. But what was I talking about? See? Rob Reiner and Nick Reiner. It's very sad what happened. But I think it is a great Greek tragedy, and I say a great Greek tragedy because one, it's a great tragedy. 3 people died, or not died. 2 people died. One whole life is totally changed for the worse that didn't have to change. And no excuses. It was horrible. It was definitely a horrible event. But see, someone's talking about me again. But thinking about me. But so but it was I say a Greek tragedy because I studied theater along with everything else. Studied theater, guys. So if you know, you know. But in Greek, there's always that Greek tragedy where everybody has to die. It's like you see that, and it's in Shakespeare's tragedies, which is sort of based on that, like Macbeth and Hamlet. Some of them had to die, and it's a great tragedy. But once you set those in motion, you can't. So you can't stop it, and that's what sort of happened in this. Rob Reiner tried to help his son, and nothing could be helped. They probably took advantage of him. He donated a lot of money to some mental health places, and they then diagnosed him with schizophrenia, which I'm sure he has. But it's like, and that's when you're 30 is when your brain stops forming. So it surprised me. This is when he went, gah. And no one knew that. He's like 20 years younger than me. So, and this isn't an excuse, but didn't have to play out this way. He didn't have to have all those meds and everything, extra meds they were experimenting on that made him go like blah, And yes, his siblings said, I heard they said they were scared at times, but they're also evidently financing. They don't want to see him dead. They're financing some of the court stuff, I guess, with some of the estate money, and which isn't normally allowed. So I feel like that was the kids using some of their money to help. So it's all a tragedy. And then you have the siblings and Rob's other kids. This is all a tragedy for them too. And so it's all a Greek tragedy. No one's life is going to be better. But if one thing can come out of this is that we collectively, as a society, will do better and try to find how to help people with mental health issues. There's also this guy on the street who was on a Nickelodeon show. He's a child actor. And he was a child actor. He's now in his 30s. And his mom said he had mental health issues and he's using drugs. So many people like Nick Reiner who have mental health issues go towards drugs. They self-medicate. They don't stay on there. Then they drink and they do all these things, which is not good. It's so sad. So it's like, and statistics say so many people, over 60%, will end up who have ADHD or autism or all these disabilities or mental health issues a lot of them will end up in jail because they don't get the same help. And now a lot of them end up on the street because families don't know what to do anymore. I mean, and there has to be something better, like a place where you can live better than the Cuckoo's Nest, like that Jack Nicholson was in, or those hospitals, the movie that Leo did about the hospitals. We can't just stick them in hospitals and forget about it. But Nick Reiner should not have been on outpatient, with all these new meds. I shouldn't have been when I was trying my new medication and herb stuff. It made me good, and thank God nothing bad happened, to my family or to me. So, but now I hear doing YouTube and doing stand-up comedy. So I guess, as people say, I'm a success story. May not have a lot of money, but I guess it doesn't matter if you have a lot of money or not, because the same things can happen. And that's what this Nick Reiner is showing you. And I only bring up the kid for Nickelodeon who's now 30 because it's the same kind of thing. What do? We need to find a way to put these people in for 30 days to get clean and sober, but also focus on the mental health issues more than the drug addiction. Both, because the mental health and the disability part is what's really the problem and why they're just going to end up on the street. Get them situated with their social security disability so they can get a house and a place on their own, and then put them in somewhere else, if they can't, then they have to go to, like, Reagan closed all of the mental health places, back in the 80s. Bless his little heart. But, they were a nightmare anyway. I had my great aunt was in one when my pappy's wife died. They put her in, the child, who was probably 30 or 40, my great Aunt Mary, in a home. And that was it. They just sort of, the Kennedy child, they put her in because she had disabilities. And it was just a nightmare. They never get better. So there has to be something about getting better and not just, like, shutting down and treating them like the scum, like they're in jail. No, it's not about that. So that's what I see is going to come from this. Psychically, I see that from the Nick Reiner and Rob Reiner and Michelle Reiner tragedy, Greek tragedy. This is what's going to happen. We can redefine as a society, because it's all about love right now. Yes, he'll probably get life in prison or as insanity, I don't think he's going to get out. But let's not jump ahead. We know he did it, but insanity, they have evidence, I guess. It's like, but I think they're really going to push for insanity, and I could see that. Because I think he did have a break with reality and the medication. Because once he got off the meds, he was probably more what he used to be, even if he was scary to people, But he wasn't himself. So people need to not be afraid to call the cops. But out of all this, psychically, we're going to get more help in the world and in the United States for people with disabilities. And not just like, oh, let's write a check once a year to the autism place, and help. Because in the whole world right now, let's write more stories about autism and neurodivergent and use all these people. Yes, I love that because I'm an actor. But, now is the time to write these disabilities, to write something amazing and address it all. For veterans who have PTSD, we need to go longer so they don't end up on the streets. And it's not a VA problem because the VA doesn't fix it. They just live there and that's it. They tore down VA places under Biden and before Biden. It's just sad. So we need to do something better. We can't go back. And that's what I see coming from all this. And I feel like if they're not going to use all their money up, they'll be able to donate and create some kind of mental health place. And I, for one, will work on that. And I would love to be a part of that. And I feel like that's what I see happening psychically. And great changes will be made. So that's my number one prediction that I see happening. And I'm putting it out into the universe. All right, well, praise God that everyone is safe and will stay strong. We have 365 days to create more miracles in our world. Many blessings.